up, guys? Welcome in, welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Voodoo Val, and I am going to be doing the Photoshop Daily Challenge with you folks this afternoon, which seems weird considering usually when we do these, we are doing them in the morning. So welcome in. I hope you folks enjoyed Jack's challenge beforehand. I also have a hat, but not nearly as festive as Jack. Which is surprisingly off-brand for me. Very jealous of the hat, Jack. I'm sure, though, that you are very jealous that the tip of my nose is disappearing over and over again for some undiscernible reason. But thank you folks for joining me. I am super excited to get into this round of challenges because it is going to be a spooktacular month for the spooktacular season. Very, very excited. Volume is really low. I got you. I got you. How's that? How's that? Sorry, headphone users, if it was a little quiet. And now it's super loud. Val's brows are on fleek though. I try, baby. I try. Let me know. Eyes even? I hope my eyes are even. I do sincerely hope my eyes are even. Val is becoming a ghost right before your eyes. Yes, indeed. So yeah, let me know how the sound is. I'm gonna reposition my little nose. It's like, I'm like a reverse Rudolph today. I'm not sure why. But yeah, let's kind of jump into it. If you guys, check out the link below in the description, you will get a link to the starter files, which looks a little something like this. Hello. Challenge 1, let's get festive with garlands. If you guys tuned in to the Drawing a Blank show yesterday, you know that we were kind of illustrating garlands a little bit throughout the stream, and I had to stay away from doing what we were going to do today, so we didn't do a repeat, but we're going to be making some bat garlands, and this is what you're going to see in your starter file. I'm going to pop over to this side of the screen with magic, so you guys can take a look at what's going on in my layers here. I've got a background layer. You will not see this tests folder. This is a folder of things that I have worked on as I was testing this challenge. You will, however, have the shapes folder and the info folder, and as always, after you read the info, you can always hide that just to get it right out of your way. So use the above shapes as a guide to design a Halloween-inspired icon or illustration. Define that creation as a brush preset and use your custom brush to concoct a festive holiday greeting card or social media post. Now, I have done many a brush stream for these challenges, but today we're going to be getting a little bit more in depth as far as what we can do to the settings of that brush in order to create something really, really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and Control Shift in here, or Command Shift in if you're working on a Mac, to make myself a new layer here. You can also just press this little plus button down here in your layers panel if you want. And I'm going to sketch around here just to kind of walk you through this challenge, but I am going to create a version of our brush today that you can make without the use of a stylus, which is what I typically use in my personal workflow. I know not everybody has that. This is our little shape thing here, and what I wanted you to do with this is really to just kind of keep in mind, let me go to a black here, keep in mind that we're making a garland brush. So if you don't know what a garland is, garlands are those things that are kind of like this, and they have like little flags, you know, kind of hanging down, and you like string them along the top of a ceiling if you are throwing a party. The most important part of creating a brush that is supposed to be a garland is that everything must kind of connect at these interconnecting points here. And so when you make your bat, you want it to kind of fit in this area right here, because if the tips of the wings touch, then it will look like they're kind of strung along, and you can add your own little artistic flair in there, however it is that you want to do it. But we're going to be going for a shape that's kind of like this, just something simple, something like that, because that is the cutest kind of bat, aside from flying foxes. So we're gonna be going for something like this, and I've kind of like sketched one out for myself. But what we're actually going to use is the polygonal lasso tool to create a version of this brush that is very clean, and you can do this with a mouse. So I'm selecting the polygonal lasso tool, which you can access by hitting L on your keyboard, as you can see by our little tooltip here. And if you click L on your keyboard and it gives you the regular lasso tool, all you have to do is right click there and select polygonal lasso. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click from like the tip of one wing to the other tip of the wing and hold shift, because this is, as you can see, this is kind of creating this perfect little snapping deal here so that this is a perfect straight selection. And I am going to just go around and kind of start to click tap, and I'm just kind of creating the shape of our bat here. And I have nothing against having this be like a little polygonal. Polygonal? I think it's polygonal. I don't know. Somebody help me. Because this is the vibe I'm going for this is kind of like a paper cutout, right? So it's a little wonky, it's a little crazy, but I think that that's going to work. And then now that I've created my selection, you can just hold shift until your icon turns into the lasso tool with the plus. And we are just going to go ahead and add our little head here. All right. So now we have that shape, and what I'm going to do is hide our little sketch layer and grab my paint bucket tool, which you can access by pressing G on your keyboard. Make sure we're set to black, and I'm just going to fill that in, and then Control or Command D to deselect. So this needs a little bit of work. Like I do feel like this could be a little more cleaned up. So I'm just going to hit L on my keyboard again. I'm going to come right back in here, and I'm going to kind of select portions of this. And then I'm going to say Control X because it's going to cut things out. Maybe we will actually kind of cut out from this side to make it a little more dramatic and batty. Control X. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and do this one as well, just to make that a little more interesting. Let's kind of cut this side out. I think that would be cool if we got rid of a little bit of that. And let's also cut a little bit out of the bottom here. So you can kind of toy with it. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to create like a very simple version of this brush, and then I'm going to show you how to add a little more oomph to it. Oomph, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, folks in the live chat, I believe oomph is an industry standard term for more better. I'm pretty sure somebody in the audience is cringing at me, and I accept full responsibility. That's fine with me. So let's go ahead and Control X. That's good enough. He's kind of a cute little guy. Let's go ahead and give him some eyes. I'm going to make one of the. They're gonna be kind of angry eyes. Okay, they're gonna be kind of cat's eyes. We want to give him the vibe of like, I'm Batman. You know what I mean? You know the vibe of every bat. I'm Batman. That's what we want. So this is our little bat guy, and he's going to become a brush. I'm going to peek at the chat. That's bunting with the little flags. No, I suppose that if you use your imagination, it could be bunting. It could totally be bunting. I didn't do like a super dramatic, like kind of garland vibe because I didn't want to hold you into, like, if you're not familiar with garlands, I didn't want to hold you into like this particular way that you needed to do yours. So if you want to make bunting, you can totally make bunting. I'm not gonna keep you from that. And if you want to make garlands, you can make garlands. I say that you should interpret these challenges however you want to, and do whatever you want with them. Okay, so I'm going to hide our shapes. I'm going to hide our background. And this is a very important step because when you define a brush preset, there cannot be anything around it. Okay, so this is our little bat guy. Everything is transparent behind it. And what I'm going to do is you could grab your selection tool like your magic wand selection, and select like this. You could go ahead and hand select or have never deselected after you created your shape. But a quick and easy way to select everything available on a layer is to hold Control and then click the visual icon for that layer, and it will auto select for you anything that is on that layer. And we're going to come up here and go to Edit, Define Brush Preset, and I'm going to leave this as what? No, we're not. We're gonna name this. We're gonna call this Bat. No, we're gonna call this I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Here we go. All right, so now this is a brush, and we're gonna go ahead and hide this, deselect. We're gonna turn our background back on, and on a new layer with our nifty shortcut, we are going to kind of draw. So right now it's a stamp. You know, we want this to be cooler. We're gonna try and draw a garland with this, so we're gonna have to get in and mess with the brush presets a little bit. And the way that you can do that is, if you open your brush settings, if you don't have the brush settings available here, you can also go into Window and scroll down to Brush Settings and open that up. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the spacing on this, first of all, because we need all of the bats to be separate. And then we're going to just go into Shape Dynamics, and for the angle jitter, we're going to turn it to Direction, not Initial Direction. You want to go to Direction. You can alter it a little bit, but we kind of want to keep the percentage at 0 so that as we draw, let me go ahead and close this. As we draw, it creates a little bat garland. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, that's good enough for me, Val. Well, we want to really create something unique, because I've done these challenges, these brush challenges, where this is about as far as we went, but I'm trying to hustle along here because I want to show you folks how to create something that you can really make sort of illustrative, right? A little illustration added in here without the need to actually be illustrating something you can put on your greeting cards or whatever this holiday season that will look more unique than just a stamp. So we are going to come back to our sweet little guy here, okay? And we're going to add a little bit of intrigue to our guy. And this is how we're going to do that, okay? I am going to, on our layer for our little bat, I'm going to lock the transparency. This is this little checkerboard here, and that lock transparency means that now, no matter what I have selected, I'm going to select white, and I'm going to come in and grab like a maybe a textury brush, something gritty. We can use a Kyle brush, which if you look up Adobe brushes, you will get all of Kyle's halftones, his dry media brushes, all kinds of really cool stuff. And what we're going to do is select something that has a little bit of scratchiness. Also the industry standard term. Not really. I'm joking. I hope I'm not misleading anybody with these. But let's do I do like chunky charcoal. What's that actually? That's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. If I make this really big, a little bit of charcoal there. What I'm doing is I'm just tapping this in here, and then I'm going to select my black again, and I'm gonna kind of tap in there as well. And what I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of grit texture. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, what if I don't want to use black and white, Val? What if that's not the vibe? Don't worry. I have planned ahead. Don't worry, I'll show you where we're going with this. So we've got like this cool texture in here, and if you want, you can also come in with the Lasso tool and you can kind of select some portions. Let's kind of add a little bit more definition to the wings. We'll hold shift so that we can really get in here. Maybe actually what we'll do is we'll add a little, I kind of just want to add like these little definition portions to where his wings connect, you know. Let's hold shift again, add a little boop there, maybe a little boop here, and a little boop here. Okay, so we got a little of that. I'm going to come back to my brush, and I'm just going to make sure I'm on white, and I'm just going to tap in here to kind of give it a little bit of flair. And I am also, just as a tip, I'm using the left and right bracket keys to make my brush smaller and larger. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing so good on time. We're doing so good in time. And in fact, we can kind of make this a little more interesting. So we've got this down. I think, do we want him to have a little tummy? Or like maybe an ending to his little face? We could give him the I'm Batman look. I feel like that makes him look like a crow though. Oh, he needs a little bat mouth. That's what he needs. Let's give him a little bat mouth. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's the vibe. That's the vibe right there. That works for me. So now he's a little more extravagant, shall we say. A little oomph. Yeah. A little oomph. I'm Batman. Keys. Okay, so let's Control D to deselect. So now we have something that is a little more interesting and also something that is achievable, whether you are an illustrator like me and you have a stylus, or if you are working with a mouse. For all of you people who are working with a mouse, try to get as creative as you can as far as adding some little details to this guy. And if you're an illustrator, let your illustration skills shine here. Make this kind of an illustration, because remember, brushes do not have to just be little shapes or icons that you draw with. I've drawn with brushes that were made with like the Mona Lisa as the base. Like, you really can do all that. So get a little creative, you know, experiment a little bit. And then how do we make this a brush? I will show you. So we're going to hide this background, okay? So we have some parts of this that are transparent, some parts of this that are totally not transparent, and this is how we are going to select only the black to create our brush. So we're going to come over to channels, okay? And I don't use channels very often, but I do all the time when I'm making brushes. One thing actually that I do see that I kind of want to do here real quick is I want to add just a teeny tiny bit more black to the tip of this wing here, since the wings do have to touch. So I'm going to make sure that those are pretty visible. Okay. Let's come over here to channels. If you don't see channels, again, go to window, scroll down to channels, and you will pop that window right out. And what we're going to do is similar to how we selected what was on the layer previously. We are going to hold control and we're just going to click right there. We're going to click that RGB and it's going to select everything. But when you're doing a selection like that, please make sure that when you zoom out of your canvas, because you might notice that you have marching ants here around the edges, which means everything outside of the black is selected right now. And what we want to do is make sure everything that is black is selected. So now that we have all of that selected, I'm going to make sure I'm on a selection tool. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say select inverse. So now only the black is selected. So it doesn't matter if some of that was white, if some of that was transparent, none of that matters, because it's only selected basically the paint that I've got down on my canvas. And I'm going to come over back to my layers. I'm going to hide this layer, Control Shift in or Command Shift in to make myself a new layer. And with my paint bucket tool, I'm just going to go ahead and paint bucket in that black and then Control D to deselect. So now this whole thing really is transparent. We've got this really cool nifty little brush guy. We are going to make sure that it stays selected. There we go. Because we want to define this with all of these little itty bitty details. We want to define that as a brush preset. So we'll come up, let's try this again. While I'm doing this, put a name for this brush in the chat, please. Let's say edit, define brush preset. It could be another Batman joke. I'm looking in the chat. Batmanuel. Oh no. Batmanuel. Okay, honestly, I know I didn't give you enough time, but Clever Devlin is in the chat and she always comes prepared. So we are going to do Batman, well. Bat Scratcher also is good, coming in second place. Batmanuel just tickled me to death though, so we're going to say, okay, Batmanuel. We are going to hide that. Control D or Command D to deselect, and then we are going to do something even more special, okay? Even more special than just having this random brush, okay? On our layer here, we have our brush. You can see it's got our little, all of our little details and things in it. We're going to come over to our brush settings, and we are, just like before, going to mess with the spacing so that there's a little bit of distance in here, okay? We are going to turn on the angle jitter to initial direction. We are also going to add color dynamics, okay? Now what I want to do is turn off, I believe, turn off apply per tip. I've got my foreground and background jitter kind of cranked up a little bit. And what I want to do is be able to come over here and select new colors like purple. Okay, and let's do, I'm gonna flip that and select this and do like a blue. Okay, and what this should be doing for us here, I'm gonna make my brush a little smaller. Nope. Let's apply per tip. Can we do it a little bit more? Control. Please. It's doing it a little bit. Let me crank up the, it's like this one is a little bit brighter, but I want to see if I can, do we want that on? No. Hold on. We're going to do this. Yeah, there we go. Huge jitter. And you can change the brightness, you can change the saturation and all that good stuff. I'm also going to kind of make this a little closer. How are we doing on time? Oh, we got like 4 minutes. Okay. So this kind of allows you to have like a little personalized thing. So now it's like not only is it kind of more artistic, but it is also kind of colored, which is really, really neat. So we can kind of get to work on creating a little happy Halloween kind of vibe here. So I'm just going to drop all of this into my tests. I'm going to turn my info on because I'm just going to use the info text that was supplied in our challenge here. And we're just going to change our text in our last few moments of our challenge. We're going to say, let's hide that. Let's bring challenge down here and center it. I'm going to hit T on my keyboard to access my text tool, type tool, and I'm going to say, did I say spell Halloween wrong? Is it Halloween? Please, please nobody judge me on this. Okay, I spelled Halloween right. Thank you. Okay, and we're going to say Happy Halloween. Happy, hit V to access my my move tool. Maybe we'll move that down. We'll move this down. And then I am going to duplicate this. What are we doing on time? 2 minutes. Perfect. I'm going to bring this down here. Happy Halloween from Adobe Live. Perfect. Perfection. Let's see if we can make this a little interesting. Let's put this over Halloween and let's add, I'm going to double click this and I'm going to add a stroke to this. Let's go stroke. Let's grab this color. Okay. Let's turn this small because I just want you to be able to kind of see that against our text. Kind of cool, maybe not, maybe. And then this is our top happy. So I'm going to make a new layer here, and with our new brush, I am going to give us a little garland. In fact, we could do like more than one garland. And I think it definitely needs more work, you know, but you can see how you could really kind of spice up something that's very simple, especially all you folks out there who aren't really graphic designers. You know, you kind of are comfortable maybe placing text down, but as far as making something that's like really pretty, maybe a piece of artwork to go with your social media stuff, this could be a really great way to kind of do that. So happy Halloween from Adobe Live. I hope that you folks have enjoyed this challenge. Unfortunately, I gotta go. But I had a blast. I can't wait to see what kind of garlands and things that you folks make. If you would like to join the Discord and share your work, you can go to this bit.ly link up top. And I will see you folks next week for more spooks and booze. Okay? Adios, folks.